Tunghayan po natin ang special coverage ng press briefing sa Palasyo ng Malacañang.
Good afternoon, MPC. Kasama na natin si Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo. Good afternoon, sir.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Itong si RJ mukhang may mischievous smile.
Question, RJ?
Sir, I already forwarded to you the pastoral statement of the CBCP.
I haven't read it. Ano ba sinasabi? Sige, sabihin mo kagad para makareact kagad.
Okay, Davao Archbishop Romulo Valles issued on behalf of the CBCP yesterday a pastoral statement. And I will read in part some lines referring to the statements of President Duterte against the church. As far as we know, the freedom of expression does not include a license to insult other people's faith, especially our core beliefs. We know that this cuts deeply into the souls of our people, especially the poor. That's the first one, sir. And on being critical of the anti-illegal drugs campaign, the CBCP said, as bishops, we have no intention of interfering in the conduct of state affairs. But we have a solemn duty to defend our flock, especially when they are being attacked by wolves. We do not fight with arms, we fight only with truth. And they added that no amount of intimidation or even threat to their lives will make them give up their prophetic role, especially giving voice to the voiceless. So, initial reaction, sir, for the first two.
Well, I will refer him to the statement of... Ba't merong echo to?
Sir,
Ha? Bakit late?
we'll ask RTBM to.
Okay.
That's your conscience.
RTBM, please.
Let me refer you to the statement of Bishop Socrates. He said that he's more worried with the health of the president rather than the church. Because according to him, the church for so long a time had passed through trials and whatever. In other words, it does not affect the church. Now, I cannot understand why CBCP now is reacting. If the good Bishop Socrates is saying that it does not affect the church, then why should others be affected? Second, the president was not actually criticizing the institution. It was criticizing certain hypocritical acts of the members of the church, especially those who wear the cloak or the clothes.
They have admitted their shortcomings, sir, saying we have already mentioned in our previous statement that we bow in shame when we hear of abuses committed by some of us, that we hold ourselves accountable for their actions and accept our duty to correct them.
Oh, so what if they themselves?
Yes, the CBCP.
Are they saying that all of them, members of that CBCP, are guilty of immorality?
Not all of them.
No, but they are
some of
saying
them.
that we admitted our guilt in shame.
They are saying that they have their own share of failures and shortcomings, and they admitted that some of them.
The president also admits, he says, I'm just human. And I will do everything under the
And
constitutional
why the
mandate
continued verbal
to
attacks
serve and to
against the
protect the
church,
people.
sir?
No, he's not really attacking. He's questioning certain doctrines. And as I said before, it behooves them to explain to the president the validity of the doctrines that are being taught to us, Catholics.
And despite this admission, why the president keeps criticizing the church then? And that has been happening since 2016.
The idea is to let them know that these hypocritical acts will not go unnoticed. And the more you should repeat them, the better for the faithful, so that they will know, because not all faithfuls are listening
Of course,
For
sir, they
every-
know. That's why they said that they have their own share of failures and
Oh, but
shortcomings.
that's
They're
the-
aware.
This is the only time that I've heard of them admitting that guilt, not before.
They said that before. That's why they repeated it today or yesterday in their statement.
I don't have that statement. I've never heard them admit to that. Moreover, again, the charges of the president go to the specific priest who committed the acts, not necessarily even with the CBCP members. Now, if they feel alluded to, we cannot do anything about that. If they admit their guilt, then well and good.
Sir, the latest bombing took place in a place of worship, a Catholic church. You don't think it has anything to do with the president's attacks?
Oh, definitely not. In fact, the
Criticism.
president is outraged. He's so angry that they have not respected the place of worship.
And do you
That's why he
think,
declared war against all these perpetrators.
and do you think his criticisms against the church helps? Does it help?
What do you mean? What may it help what?
You see that the protecting the church from terror acts.
I don't get your question.
Does it help, sir, in protecting the church,
protecting?
especially the faithful, from these kinds of acts?
It
Violence?
helps in cleansing the institution of its members. But if you say that the president's criticism of them would embolden others to disrespect the church, I don't think so.
But violence is
Those who will attack places of worship, especially with the Catholics, are doing it because they do not believe in that religion. In other words, they are disrespecting precisely the religion. It's directed against, to my mind, apart from challenging the capability of this government to secure the safety of the citizenry, it is also showing its utmost disrespect to this religion.
Can we not consider the president's words against the church as verbal violence?
No,
Why?
it's still part of the freedom of expression. I said he is not attacking the church. He is just criticizing certain immoral acts of some members of the church.
So what would stop the president then?
Nobody can stop him from saying his mind on certain matters that he feels are wrong.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, RJ. Ina.
Just a quick follow-up, sir. How can you say that the president is not criticizing the church and that he's only going after specific
Yes.
members, but he mocks, as you mentioned earlier, doctrines being, propagated
Not he
by
mocks,
the
he is
church.
questioning the
He mocks the
doctrines.
Bible. He mocks Jesus. How and saints.
Not Jesus.
He did.
I refer
I
you-
remember because the president said, bakit si Jesus kung God siya,
Oh.
nagpapa-crucify? Anong klaseng Diyos daw yon?
Oh, then you respond to his questioning your doctrine. You don't.
So how is that not criticizing the church? If, this is a teaching of the church.
You must remember, if you notice, there are statements coming from the president signed by him. And the Black Nazarene, he recognized and in fact asked the faithful to follow the examples that Christ did when he was still in the physical plane.
Yes, but that does not disregard the fact that, again, he still comes out with these statements. How can you say that these are not criticisms? And how can you say that priests, if they feel alluded to, wala na magagawa doon, ang ina-attack nga yung tinuturo po nila eh.
When you say kasi attack, parang
And no,
you're just questioning the doctrines.
the president has a quote before, sir, I will continue attacking the church.
Siguro when we say attacking, ang ibig sabihin, I'm questioning your doctrines. You justify to me your doctrines. You must remember that, I don't know if you read, I forgot the name of the book. That criticism of the president, now I remember. According to, who's that columnist that, Mr. No. The columnist that teaches about esoteric, Jaime Licauco. In fact, he wrote a column, and I sent it to the president. He said that that the things that the president has been saying has been said 1,000 years ago about the Bible, about the doctrines, and according to him, even those people then could not explain. And their defense is just believe in it. Basahin mo yung ni Likaw ko.
Okay, okay.
In other words, the president is just questioning your doctrine. So he doesn't believe in it. So you respond.
Okay, so is that what the president wants at the end of this all, just for the church to justify its doctrines? Ano ba, does he want an apology? Does he want
Not really.
priests
In other words, he
admit
believes,
their-
as he said, I am testing the limits of civility. I'm testing the limits of the freedom of expression.
with the end goal
In
of-
other words, even the church criticizes the president, so if they can throw criticism, they should also accept criticism.
So
coming
it's
from
going
him.
to be a back and forth thing until the president ends his term.
Then let it be. You know, in debates, when debates are often enough heard, we learn from them.
Okay.
We learn. We see the validity of each statement coming from the contending parties. Anyway, according naman to Bishop Socrates, it doesn't affect us. Di ba? Dahil entrenched nga naman kami. Kahit ano pa sabihin mo, ganun pa rin yung mga devotion ng tao. Ganun din naman si Presidente. Nagkikriticize siya, pero at the same time, he says, let us follow the teachings of Christ. Oo, di ba? So in other words, very clear na specific lang yung criticism.
Okay, Joseph.
Sir, this is the first time that the CBCB, as a group, issued the statement. What's your reading about it?
Well, according to them, they are admitting guilt. It's a collective.
The act of coming out with a statement to, not naman challenge, but maybe contest some of the president's statements. This is the first
My
time.
suggestion is rather than attack the president by way of making this statement, I'd rather that they issue a statement that they're all praying for our president to succeed in his endeavor. And if there are mistakes, they pray to God that he be enlightened on certain mistakes that they perceive to be wrongs.
Okay.
Follow.
Konti lang, sir. Specifically, they said something about, number one, the drug war, no? Trying to look for it. Ang sinasabi po nila ay yung usual criticism that the small ones, yung mga maliliit na mga drug users and drug peddlers are the ones being maybe punished. And yung mga drug lords ay hindi nakukuha.
Alam mo kasi ang problema, hindi nila pinapakinggan si Presidente ng maayos eh.
Okay.
Ano ba ang dynamics ng illegal drug trafficking? Yung shabu, para sa mga masa yon, kasi yun ang mura. Yung mga marijuana sa mga pangmayaman. Now, yung mga mahihirap, I think I said this earlier before. What the syndicate did was to spread shabu for free. Ina-addict nila yung mga sa barangay. So, nung na-addict na, di syempre, hahanapin mo ngayon. Ang galing nga ng mga sindikato eh. So, nung na-addict na, they will have to get shabu to continue with the addiction. Wala naman silang pera. So, anong nangyari ngayon? So, they will have to steal. Una sa pamilya nila, and then sa neighborhood. Pag hindi sila nag-succeed, di siyempre, mag-hold up na yan, papaday na yan. Kaya galit na galit si Presidente kasi sinira nila yung bagong henerasyon. That's why, at the same time, kinakalimutan din nila na when you're addicted to it, talagang may diferensya ang utak mo. Walang addict at walang courier papayag magparesto. Palaging may mga armas yan eh. You know, I've been reading reports coming from the PNP. Nababasa ko talagang pag may by bust, lalaban. Marami ring aresto. Mas marami ang aresto kaysa nagpagbarilan. Kasi yung na-aresto naman, nagugulat sila kasi nire-raid sila. So, pero kung by bus operation, pag nakahalata, talagang mambabarilan yan.
But do you agree with the proposition, sir, na Yung mga maliliit lang yung nahahabol ng gobyerno.
Hindi kasi nga sila mga involved eh. But don't tell me also na yung mga drug lords hindi na tatamaan eh, di ba? Ang dami nang napatay ng mga drug lords in connection with operations ng mga pulis eh.
You'd say that meron ding efforts to. So for example, yung sinasabi nila si Peter Lim, where's Peter Lim now?
Ano?
Peter Lim, alleged drug lord. Where is he now?
O hindi ba wala yara rito sa Pilipinas, nakatakas. Oh, but it doesn't mean na pinabayaan mo kung nakatakas eh. Tsaka isa pa, parang hindi sila makapaniwala na yung mga nag-surrender noon, nagtuturo ng mga members ng syndicate eh, kaya maraming napapatay din eh, nang hindi nalalaman ng pulis. In other words, to silence them. Isa pa, nagkakaunsihan. Pag nagkakaunsihan ng deal, siyempre magpapatayan yan. Kaya maraming ganyan. But definitely, it's not state-managed, state-initiated operation against those who are killed in police operations.
Sir, last dun sa statement, they don't agree also with lowering the MCRA.
What's MCRA?
Minimum age for criminal responsibility, MACR, to 9. So parang, again, yung mga patang ng papariwara ay walang guidance. They're coming from usually maybe, economically challenged families, no guidance at all. So,
Yung problema kasi hindi nila alam yung background ng batas eh. As I said before, yung previous law, peg it at 9. 9 with discretion. Pero hindi pa kinukulong yun eh. Nire-rehabilitate yun eh. Pagdating nilang majority age at ganun pa rin sila incorrigible, saka lang sila sinisentensya ng hukuman. Matagal na yon. That has been there since 1900s. Yung revised penal code, yung provision na yon. That was only changed in 2006. Tinaas ng 15 years old. But I just read sa internet, merong 2 bata sa Amerika, 10-year-olds, na nakademanda ngayon. Kasi sa kanila yata, up to 8 na may criminal liability. These 10-year-olds, pinatay nila yung baby. 10-year-old lang yan. Eh, di ba sinasabi nga ni, I don't know kung sino senador yan, o si Gordon, sinasabi niya sa ibang bansa nga, hanggang 8, 7. Eh, tayo nga, inakit na natin, ang dami pa kayong reklamo. But, let me restate the policy of the law. The law is directed more against criminal syndicates and neglectful parents and protective of the children who are in conflict with the law. That's precisely why kailangan may rehabilitation. And that is also why merong komite that will oversee them. May doktor, may psychologist. Marami kompleto eh. Para nga alagaan yung mga bata. Hindi na may kukulong eh. Ang palaging naririnig ko doon sa mga kritik, why are we going to imprison? Hindi nga ini-imprison eh. Nire-rehabilitate nga eh. So in other words, mukhang hindi nila naintindihan yung purpose ng batas. At saka yung batas mismo. I suggest they read the provisions of the proposed bill.
sir, I think the House has already passed its version
12,
final reading.
diba?
Yes, sir. Yes,
12.
12. And
Even the Senate, I think, is considering 12.
Okay, so because there's still that process, will the President certify this as urgent so it can move faster?
I will ask him when we meet this afternoon if he will certify it. But since, according to him, he's okay with that. Kasi baka sakali.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But I think even without certifying it, I think the House and the Senate are bent on approving the bill.
So 12 na tayo, sir, no? 12 na, no?
Okay, Ace and then Christine.
Balikan ko lang yung sa church, Sec. You mentioned about testing the limits of freedom of expression. Tama, Sec?
That's what he said.
Okay. Would that include yung spreading nung unsubstantiated pang claims? Halimbawa, yung 80% daw ng priests are gays. May basis ba si President doon? Or si Bishop David is into drugs and he stole some donation from that?
Well, siguro may basis siya. Eh.
How about the 80%? Did he make a survey of the entire Catholic clergy? Are you gay or what? Kasi walang proof yun. How would you justify those?
I think his basis was, remember yung nilabas ni Pope
The
about,
popes?
yeah, the Pope, he made a statement, if you cannot be celibate, leave the church. The Pope will not be saying that if he has no basis na maraming gays sa loob ng kanyang simbahan.
So saan
Pope Papa na yan, ha?
Saan ako 80%?
Anong alin?
Yung 80% niya.
Eh, siguro nagbigay lang siya ng number. But given that the Pope is the one saying it, siguro hindi ordinaryo number. I don't think the spiritual leader of more than so many million Filipinos will make a statement on that. Such an important statement that is adverse even to the church.
So, kailan tingin nyo matatapos tong
Well,
bakuhan?
gaya nga na sinabi ko, hayaan lang natin sila. Anyway, kung wala namang nakikitang kasiraan on both sides. Kasi yung pag sinabi mo, kakasira kaya ka presidente, sabi na nga ni Bishop Socrates, kahit anong banat mo, andun pa rin ang devotion ng tao. Sa party naman ng church, sabi niya, kahit naman anong banat mo, sumusunod pa rin ang tao sa amin. So, parang polemics lang ang nangyayari.
Okay, Christine muna, then Pia and Ina.
What is important is this president doing his job as president of the country, whose job is, one, to serve the people, and number two, to protect them.
Sir. Sir, do you think, or does this administration think that the church is interfering into affairs of the state's affairs?
That's what the president is saying. He feels that stop interfering with my governance.
So criticism is interference, sir?
Well, what he's saying is the church, you're supposed to be in the spiritual side. Huwag na yung governance ng gobyerno kasi you're questioning the method by which this president is doing his duty. Since kayo sa spiritual, magpagdasal nyo na lang. Turuan nyo na lang mga tao kung anong tama at mali.
It cannot question.
In other words, we have enough critics. We have the opposition, we have the human rights. Nadagdagan mo pa supposed to be spiritual side ka. Yan ang punto ni Presidente.
So the church cannot question the...
They've been doing that.
I mean,
Nobody has stopped them anyway, kahit na ano sabihin ni Presidente, ganun pa rin. So let it be then. Sabi nga, let the flowers bloom kung ganun. Tingnan na lang natin. Anyway, hindi naman destructive on both sides Wala nga ako nakikitang distraction The president remains very popular in terms of performance and trust. The church, ganun din naman yung faithfuls. So wala namang destructive effect on both sides.
Okay, Ina?
Maikli lang to, sir. Doon sa question ni Ace, you said, regarding the 80%, sabi mo siguro nagbigay lang siya ng number. Are you saying nag-imbento lang siya ng number?
Not really.
Pulled it out of thin
Sabi
air?
ko nga, the president has his own basis. Presidente ito, marami siyang sources. So hindi natin...
So that is a confirmed number, that's what you're saying? 80%?
No, that is what he's saying. And I said, he might have some basis. Yan ang sinasabi ko.
Sabi mo siguro nagbigay lang siya ng number.
Nag-i-speculate ako on the number. But I'm saying that if that is what he said, then he must have some basis. Considering that he's the president and he has so many sources coming from whatever source, from other countries, from other groups.
Okay. Thank you.
Pia, other issue na tayo, Pia.
Sir, other issue, sir. Sir, can you confirm that President Duterte ordered an all-out war against the Abu Sayyaf yesterday in Holosulu?
All-out war against?
Abu Sayyaf, sir, yesterday.
He said so yesterday. I didn't know if it's Abu Sayyaf. Did he mention Abu Sayyaf? He just said all-out war.
Against whom, sir?
Against siguro the perpetrators. And for that matter, all the enemies of the state in that region. Lahat ng kalaban ng Estado.
So it's not specifically Abu Sayyaf, but all the terrorists?
Lahat, syempre. Kasi they're attacking the government. So, Lahat ng kalaban ng Estado.
Pati church.
Hindi naman kalaban ng simbahan eh.
Sir,
When you say against the enemies of the state, those who use violence against the state, those who want to destroy the democratic institutions in this country, those who kill, who sow terror, who bomb civilians and soldiers and policemen, these are the enemies of the state that the president is referring to, not the critics.
okay, sir.
Critics have been there.
Sir, with this declaration of an all-out war, ano yung expect natin? Are we expecting the government to mobilize more troops? Magdadagdag ba ng troops sa
Ang ibig sabihin ni
Mindanao?
Presidente, as I said, we will pursue them to the ends of the earth. Tutugisin niya ang lahat ng mga kriminal hanggang sa dulo ng daigdig.
So anong directives niya, sir, sa Armed Forces of the
O,
Philippines?
kumbaga, lalong magiging stricto. Kung yung mga checkpoints mo pinapabayaan mo lang isang tingin lang, ngayon, mas matindi na yung safety measures mo. Like, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana was telling me, the threat against the churches, alam namin yon. That is precisely why, sabi niya, nag-deploy kami ng mga troops sa lahat ng simbahan. But ang naging problema, sabi niya, is yung mga nagbomba, nag-pretend na mga churchgoer. Yung mga sundalo, kung hindi kayo magsisimba, bakit nga naman magiging masyado kang Hindi expect them to parade like terrorists? Hindi, kung ordinaryo nagsisimba nga naman Alam mo, magaling nga sila because kung ako rin yung bomber, pipiliin ko yung lugar na they will never anticipate na I will go there. Pareho na nung pinatay nila sa PNP. See, who will imagine na may papatingin sa loob ng PNP krami? Di ba? Yung Korean. Marunong smart na nga mga kriminal ngayon.
Sir, going back to my question, aside from a stricter implementation of martial law, just like what you said, are we expecting deployment of
Yes.
more troops in Mindanao, or expecting military offensives in Mindanao?
Well, kung like for instance, kung malaman natin kung nasaan yung kampo ng behind it, siyempre, kailangan lulusubin natin para arrestuin natin.
So as far as the president is concerned, sir, meron na po ba siyang grupo na pinaniniwala na behind dun sa attack?
Hindi, pinapa-imbestigahan niya pa nga, di ba?
So ongoing pa yung
Wala pa.
investigation.
In fact, tinext ko si Secretary Delphine, wala pa sagot kung we have already pinpointed those responsible. Kasi there is one group claiming, one Islamic, ISIS.
Last na lang, sir. You mentioned yesterday that there may be some security lapses. So meron po ba siyang papanagutin ng mga opisyal ng AFP? You mentioned
Na hindi pa natin.
maraming mga nakadeploy.
Mine
dun sa
kasi,
area.
I said, my reasonable conclusion is there may be security lapse because may nagbabantay So kung may nagbabantay, paano nakapasok? Pero sabi nga ni Secretary Delphine, kasi magsisimba lang yun, malay mo ba naman? Kung may magbobomo pala yun. Hindi pa nga nila alam kung Hindi ba sinasabi nila na suicide bomber? Baka suicide bomber. So hindi pa nila... No, they are not discounting that. Kasi meron daw silang mga nakitang pira-pirasong katawan So kung pira-piraso yun, ibig sabihin, siya talaga ang may dala ng bomba.
Rosalie, follow up. Rosalie Cos, then Ace, Raymond, and Tina.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon po, sir. The President made this statement more than 2 years ago.
That?
Basahin ko po. I'd like to warn you in the coming days we will be facing a serious problem aside from drugs, but be prepared for something else. It's terrorism. 4, 5, 6 lang yan, but it would require so many human intelligence. Yan ang danger na nakikita namin maybe the next 2, 3 years. Bantay kayo, yan ang pinakadelikado. So the President knows something that we don't know.
Hindi ba?
As well as the international intelligence community. Pero po yung reason that there could be lapses in the security, it's not enough reason kasi alam ng Pangulo yun pong threat ng terorismo. So bakit hindi po agad?
Haven't I told you yesterday, the most determined killer, criminal terrorist cannot be stopped. It happened in the United States, the most powerful country in the world with all those securities. Napatay nila yung presidente. Talagang pag-determine ka, sabi ko nga kung napaka-smart na yung mga kriminal But kung walang martial law, Maniwala kayo, hindi lang yun ang nangyari dyan. In fact, na-contain mo nga eh. Kaya kita mo, isa, dalawa lang.
May we know this time po kung meron bang dapat malaman ng mga Pilipino na hindi sinasabi ng Pangulo na dapat malaman? Kasi,
Tagal na nga sinasabi ng Pangulo na yung terorista, yung mga ISIS, yan ang bagong threat panganib, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas, sa buong mundo. Kaya nga nagtutulungan ng lahat ng bansa para sirain itong grupong ito.
Sir, right after the holoblast, the PNP heightened the security, full alert status, not only in ARMM, but also Metro Manila, the whole Philippines. So, meron po ba tayong reports na target din ang Metro Manila?
Then there must be some basis kung bakit sila nag-full alert. The AFP.
So, meaning to say, sir, may natatanggap nga na reports ng authorities, even the palace,
siguro.
na next target ang Metro Manila.
Tsaka isa pa, alam mo, pag may nangyari doon, at saka alam mo kung halimbawa, pinagduduhan mo ang ISIS, worldwide ang ISIS, you have to secure the entire Philippines. Kasi kung may nangyari doon, baka may mangyari din. Alam ka naman, magantay ka pa. So, gagawa ka ng preventive measures.
So, ano po yung, para hindi naman po mag-worry or hindi naman po matakot yung mga
Actually, mukhang ikaw lang nag-worry. Ang mga Pilipino, pag nasabi, even hindi mo sabihin, pag alam nila, ano na kagad eh. Defensive kagad ng mga Pilipino eh. Alam na kagad nila na merong nagbabantang panganib. So,
can we get an assurance, sir, that this will not happen in Metro Manila?
alam mo yung sinasabi niyong assurance, sabi ko na nga, pag-determine ng killer sa bomber, kahit anong bantay mo, maglulusutan ka. Pero, hindi naman po pwede yung, kung ang plano nila 10, hindi po pwede makalusot 10. Madalit sabi, lahat ng preventive steps gagawin ng AFP para hindi maulit yung nangyari doon.
Okay, Ace.
Ito, Sek, patanong lang. The President's idol, Russian President Vladimir Putin, has reiterated Russia's commitment to help the Philippines in its fight against terrorism given what happened to Holo. Ano yung reaction ng Palace dito? Ano yung inaasahan nating assistance from Russia?
So did US, and so did other governments. We welcome all of them. All of them have offered support in fighting terrorism. Ambassador Kim of the US, Ambassador Price of United Kingdom, and many others. In other words, terrorism is a worldwide problem. Hence, all the countries of the world must unite and help each other in fighting it and stopping it.
So what form of assistance will we ask?
They have not said, but they're offering help. Siguro in terms of military equipments. Usually ganun naman eh. Military equipments.
Intelligence info.
For intelligence. Kung meron silang intelligence report na hindi natin alam, they will share.
Thank you, Sec.
Okay, last three na tayo. Raymond, Tina, and then
Maricel.
Maricel.
Sir, going back dun sa all-out war directive ng Pangulo, parang grade school pa lang ako, parang pa ni na Ramos, naririnig ko na yan, Estrada, Arroyo. Lagi na sinasabi yung all-out war against the terrorist Abu Sayyaf. Pero parang naging drawing sa hangin yung nangyari. Nandyan pa rin at nagpapakita pa rin ng puwersa yung mga Abu Sayyaf. This time, anong meron sa isang Pangulong Duterte na magtatagumpay siya sa all-out war laban sa Abu Sayyaf?
Di tingnan mo yung ginawa niya sa Marawi. That's a classic example of how this president can crush the enemies of the state. Tinalo natin sila sa Marawi, di ba?
Sir, yung Abu Sayyaf, karamihan sa kanila ay concentrated doon sa Hulusulu na kilalang Nurmiswari country. So, paano maisasagawa yung all-out war na hindi, kumbaga, ma-antagonize or magalit, mapektuhan yung grupo naman ni Nurmiswari, considering na halos doon lang din sila sa isang area nagkakaroon ng teritoryo?
Don't forget that Nurmiswari helped in releasing hostages from Abu Sayyaf. In other words, tumutulong si Nurmiswari sa gobyerno. That is precisely why the president wants to talk to him. Para magkaroon ng alliance. Magtulungan. Kasi hindi naman contest siya sa BOL. Sabi nila, better lang ang federalism. And ever since, sinasabi niya na he's supporting the president publicly.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tina, then Maricel.
Sir, sabi niyo, sir, yung resolve ng Pangulo, pwedeng gawin, isinasite niyo as sample yung nangyari sa Marawi. Ngayon, naka-lockdown sa Hulo-Sulu. Pwede bang gawin ng Pangulo rin ngayon yan? Lockdown, wala mapaalisin mga residents para lang matugis ng todo-todo ang mga suspects dito sa Twin Bombings.
Your question is kung po pwede ang...
The similar strategy, military strategy na ginawa sa Marawi, gagawin din sa Hulo-Sulu para lang hanapin yung
Ay, hindi ba
mga
ngayon may
suspects.
lockdown nga ngayon sa Hulo? Ginawa niya na nga.
To bring pa yung mga military. Tapos yung mga residents, papaalisin, ganyan rin. Okay. Hindi naman.
Hindi, when you say lockdown, magiging stricto, hindi ka na pa pwede mo lumabas. Kung lalabas ka man, maraming tatanungin sa'yo, maraming security measures na dadaanan ka bago ka makalabas, makapasok.
ID and curfews, sir. Curfews will be implemented.
Ang mahalaga, we can locate who the criminals are. Para sa kanila yun eh. And I don't think the people there will mind. Basta ang ultimate would be to catch them. Para wala nang danger.
Okay, thank you. Maricel, then last two na tayo, Ina and Joseph.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, the United Kingdom has issued a travel warning advisory against the Philippines following the incident in Sulu. May we have your reaction about this, sir?
Wait, palagi namang ano yan eh. That's a natural reaction from all governments. Pag merong mga panganib, tayo ganun din eh. But it doesn't mean na hindi nila pinapapunta. They're just cautioning them.
Pero sir, given yung laki ng insidente sa Hulu, how do you think this may affect yung image ng country, particularly yung industry ng tourism, economy, or the image per se?
Hindi naman laki. Laki doon sa lugar na yon. But in relation to the Philippines, maliit yun. So kung ang mga tourist mo gusto pumunta sa Maynila, sa Cebu, sa Davao, malayo naman doon sa Hulo, pupunta pa rin yung mga yan. You must remember na yung tourism percentage natin lumaki. In other words, hindi na-apekto kahit may mga gulo sa Marawi. Kasi nga area ng Mindanao lang yun eh.
Okay. So this is not a cause of concern on the part of government, given na, although isolated nga siya sa Sulu, still referred siya as part of the country.
It's always a concern when there is a deterioration of peace and order in a particular place. But it will not stop us from doing our usual chores as a government, responding to the needs, securing the safety, etc.
Okay, Ina and Joseph. Ang last natin pala si Joyce.
Hi, sir. Sir, I just want to make sure about this because yesterday you said the president was angry and disappointed on sa
Yeah, he said
nangyari
so,
sa
di ba?
But you said yesterday hindi mo pa kasi nakausap si presidente
Yeah,
about
because-
this issue of the all-out war. So when did you talk to the president about this?
No, he said that. Di ba, live. Sinabi niya.
It wasn't there. No, that's why we're
Nasa
asking because we've
transcript.
not been given any transcript eh.
Hihingi natin kay Yusek Mia.
You have one, sir? You ready?
I have, hindi pa pinapadala sa akin.
So where did you base your state confirmation, sir, that he declared
Sa
an all that?
text. Saka sa news.
No,
News.
From the president himself, sir, or
Yeah,
any
kasi
security
he was
advisor?
being quoted eh. Di ba? He was being quoted.
Sir, who was quoted was a police or military official, not the president. That's why we're looking for a quote from the
Oh,
president.
sige, hingi ko kay Yusek Mia yung quote. Padala ko sa'yo. Transcript.
Yeah, we don't have
Sige,
one.
I will.
Okay.
I will ask her to give me a
So your
transcript.
basis is the media report for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph?
Other matters. Sir, House Appropriation Committee, they issued a show cause order to Secretary Jokno to appear for the investigation. Still, this is the budget related. Nag-show cause na sila, sir. And they're threatening contempt if he doesn't show up.
That is the call of Secretary Jokno. We'll wait for since it's directed to him, we'll wait for his response.
No, but he used 464 already, and because the president didn't want him to attend, correct?
Meron ba siyang sinabi?
Yes.
Did he use that?
Yes.
Sinabi
December,
niya-
sir, we remember we had a press conference and then ang sabi ng palasyo, that he was parang binastos doon. and then
Ang
the
sabi,
president
ang sabi ko noon, kung babastusin lang siya doon, he'd rather not appear. Pero kung hindi naman, appear siya siyempre.
So he's on his own now. He can decide whether to attend or not. Secretary Jokno.
I will ask him kung anong position niya on the matter.
But
He can
Palace-
always raise that during the cabinet meeting.
Correct, sir. But Palace perspective, should he attend? If he's going to ask advice from the president.
The procedure is the committee invites you and they will ask you questions.
Correct.
And they are sent in advance. If the secretary feels na yung mga tanong naman sa kanya in relation to his work, pupunta yun.
But last time, ang complaint niya, nagpadala ng mahabang listahan, but none of those questions were
Then he
asked.
will appear there at pag tinanong siya na wala doon, I think he will beg leave.
Pero sir, now, bahala na ang you're saying is, bahala na si Secretary Jokno if he
As
wants.
ngayon, we will let him decide for himself.
Okay. Sige, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bago si Joyce Balancio, may tanong si Vance Fernandez kung pwede daw pong tawagan ng atensyon ng Malacañang ang MTRCB kasi marami daw pong violente palabas sa TV na napapanood ng mga bata and naakala daw po nila ay tama.
Then we will ask the MTCRB their response to that.
MTRCB, sir.
Ano?
NTRCB.
Kaya nga, MTRCB nga. Yung kay
Arenas.
Rachel
Yes, sir.
Arenas, tanungin natin muna siya.
Okay. Joyce?
Saka wala naman sinabi exactly ano ba yung mga palabas, di ba? Parang general eh.
Microphone, please.
Sir, follow-up lang sa question ni Joseph about show cause order. Because earlier, you already issued a statement parang hoping that that Congressman Andaya would refrain from attacking a cabinet member. And you also keep on mentioning about respect for independence of the legislative and executive. So, hindi po ba cause of concern to na a cabinet member binibigyan nila ng show cause order ang cabinet member just because he refuses to attend a congressional hearing?
First, trabaho ng ng Kongreso, di ba? Unless there is an abuse of the exercise that is given them by the Constitution, we will not oppose.
So you don't see anything wrong with the issuance of a show cause order?
That's part of the duty of Congress, as I said. Unang-una, bakit nga pala may show cause? Nag-decline na ba siya? Wala pa naman siya decline. Mukha yatang premature yung show cause.
Sir, because hindi siya ma-attend ng previous hearings ng House Committee on Appropriations.
Yes, pero meron siyang excuse eh. Sumulat siya eh.
So you believe, sir, yung excuse na, is it enough para hindi na dapat siya
Yes,
bigyan ng
kung
show cause?
halimbawa, meron siyang previous engagement. That's a valid excuse.
So
Kung
you
meron
believe,
siyang sakit, that's a valid excuse.
so if may valid excuse si Secretary Jokno, dapat hindi warranted yung show cause?
What I'm saying is, kung yung show cause is based on just because hindi siya naka-attend na valid naman na excuse, premature yun. But even then, Secretary Jokno has the opportunity to respond. Kasi pag sinamong show cause, you explain to us why. I didn't go there kasi, di ba, I told you this and that. So, hindi pa lang yun. Kumbaga, the committee is just asking him to explain.
So for you, sir, warranted yung show cause?
Depende. Hindi ko naman alam kung bakit siya pinapa-show cause. Why? Did they find the excuse of Secretary Jokno the first time is invalid or not justified? Hindi ko alam eh. I haven't seen the show cause order.
Okay, final question, Ina Andolong.
Sir, ang sinasabi po ni Secretary Jokno before was he was advised by Malacañang not to attend the previous hearings.
Pero meron siyang, alam ko meron siyang formal letter.
Yes, but that his
excuse
official
nila?
statement to media is that he was advised by Malacañang not to attend. Ano ang advice ngayon? Now that he is still, continue to be pursued by Congress na dapat mag-attend.
I said earlier, I will leave it to Secretary Jokno, his stand. If he feels that he needs the official intervention of the President, then he will raise that in the Cabinet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, MPC. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo.
Thank you.
Okay, back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.